On January 15th, 2025, in Peterborough, Nogojuinong, the Peterborough Public Library became a very special space. A space where stories, teachings, cultures, and generations came together at the Anishinaabe Indigenous, Intergenerational Growing Old AIIGO Gathering, or AIIGO. AIIGO was generously funded by the CIHR Café Scientifique and the Office of the President, Trent University. The day opened with Rhythm and Resilience as Sarah Lewis, Anishinaabe spoken word artist and Peterborough Nogojuinong's 2021 to 2022 Poet Laureate, shared spoken word that stirred the hearts of all in attendance. Her words carried the sounds of hope, anger, grief, and joy, braided together across generations.
You can't abolish or erase something that was written by the cosmos, pre-syllabics written with stardust on pictograph, a galaxy handcrafted our women with sweetgrass and sunflowers. Added some zest, made her a little bitter, made her spirit a little louder so she could stand up for her sisters, for her people. We're getting our culture back, Kokam, and she responds. She never left. She lives in reflection on river. She is sister, mother, will be a Kokam one day herself. Most importantly, she is you. Most importantly, she is home. My Kokam tells me, welcome home, sisters, brothers, friends. Miigwech.
The day began with the powerful voices of three Anishinaabe Kwe, Ann Taylor, Bailey Taylor, and Sandra Moore. Together, they offered memories, truths, and wisdom about what it means to them to grow old, to be Anishinaabe, and to navigate intergenerational healing. Sandra Moore, former chief and current council member and lifelong community leader in Hiawatha First Nation, reflected on a life lived in service and in deep connection to community. Her stories reminded us that growing old, aging is both a gift and a responsibility, and that you're never too old to try new things.
And I don't know what my dad went without that week, but I knew as a kid that that was all the money he had, and he gave it to us. But I learned that that was about what he was willing to sacrifice because of his love for us. I learned we're never too old for a new adventure. I was already there, and I phoned my kids and said, so I'm on my way to Dawson City. I'm flying up there from Whitehorse, and I'm going for a job interview tomorrow. Apply for this job, and if I get it, Dad and I are going to move here for a year. So you're never too old for an adventure.
Ann Taylor of Curve Lake spoke of her grandmother and shared a moving story about witnessing her beautiful death surrounded by family and friends.
I am one of the very fortunate people who got to live with my grandparents. I learned about my culture. I learned about how important it is to know our language. She taught me about our history, and she taught me to be strong. But I also want to tell you about my granny's death because it was beautiful. And I know that people fear death. That's a natural reaction. I don't fear death because of my granny. She had all of her faculties. And when she died laughing. She died talking to her mom and her dad and her husband. And when she died with her arms wide open, laughing and talking to them. And to me, that is the most beautiful thing I've ever seen in my life.
Tears were shed by all in attendance as Bailey Taylor shared the pain of growing up between two worlds, between Anishinaabe and settler, feeling the divide between her Indigenous and settler families.
I never forgot what my granny looked like. I never forgot what she sounded like. I never, in the Indigenous culture, we don't stop talking about them. I'm gonna cry. But in the Western culture, from like what my dad thought, they do. They stop. Once someone's gone, a lot of people forget. And That's not good for the generations under us, because how are they supposed to know who we are and where we came from? You don't discuss your family and have an understanding of everything. And if it wasn't for people like Anne and my mom, my Auntie Pop telling me about all these amazing stories, I wouldn't understand who I am. And if there's one thing that I don't understand, it's who I am from my dad's side. Sorry. I'm an emotional person because I'm allowed to be. If there's anything that my family from my mom's side taught me, is it's okay to have emotions, where my Western side on my dad's side, it's absolutely not.
Over lunch, Angela Eastby, TCAS graduate associate and PhD candidate at the University of Guelph, shared insights from her research on Anishinaabe revitalization and Indigenous aging and mobility. A proud Métis and Anishinaabe Kwe, Angela's work explores how movement of language, of people, and of memory can be a path toward cultural renewal and wellness in later life. In the afternoon, Dr. Sean Hillier, Mi'kmaq scholar and member of Halapu First Nation, delivered a keynote that rooted aging in the land, in language, and in legacy. Dr. Hillier reminded us that to age well is to live in relationship with the land, with the spirit, and with each other. Indigenous approaches to aging honor these relationships, offering a path not just to growing old, but to do so while living the good life.
What does it mean to help people age well? When I think about aging, I don't necessarily think about health. I think this is a misconception that as you age, aging well means that you're aging healthy. But what does it mean to live that good life, to be supported, to be healthy in your heart, to be healthy with your community during that process? And for the most part, we are still neglecting our older folks. In many ways, I see, and when I talk to lots of my friends who are not Indigenous, we live to make money and die. Be successful, make tons of money, save our money, live that life there, but then after 65, you're not really that useful to anybody anymore, and that will go away. And that is a very scary thing. When we talk about the fear of death that we heard about earlier, and that I've heard from lots of people, this is what makes death scary. This is what makes getting old scary, is this disconnection, this dislocation, this movement, this not feeling valued, respected, needed, wanted by others.
Julie Davis, Vice President of External Relations and Development at Trent University, introduced a vision for the Trent Seniors Village. The Trent University Integrated Seniors Village includes a not-for-profit long-term care home that is designed with intention and which is being built beside forests and fields, shaped by ongoing consultation with Indigenous community members. It will also include a seniors village development with housing and amenities. More than just a place to age, the long-term care home and the adjacent seniors village will be a place to thrive. It will be intergenerational, inclusive, in harmony with the land, and with research and teaching partnerships.
What I think is fantastic is around that is 75 acres of natural area. And so this will be a space that is very integrated with nature. I think that will be a tremendous asset. And this is what we call the Trent Lands and Nature Areas Plan. And our goal in developing that plan was to demonstrate leading edge care for the land, very much led by Indigenous values. And so Indigenous communities asked us to do 4-season studies, which we were very happy to do. And so making sure that we understood where nature needed to thrive and what would be the most suitable location for this home. That was done with the greatest depth of understanding of the species as possible.
This podcast has been brought to you by the Trent Center for Aging and Society, produced by Matthew Deshaw and Nadine Changfoot. Miigwech, and thank you for tuning in.